Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back from the OPTC video, and in today's video, we have the new Marco one team versus all for you guys, taking down the 10-star events, mainly focusing on assist quests to maximize your XP gains while you guys are farming this Kizuna assist mode. The best place to farm XP, in my opinion, is these assists, and Marco's the best man to actually do that. You can use something like Jack if you're missing Marco. However, Marco gives a lot of really good cooldowns. You have to build the team around sort of fighters, which is very easy to do, to be honest. Especially when he does boost Powerhouse and Psi as well. And then you get like Powerhouse cooldowns for the event as well. So that actually helps out a lot. However, the team I did put together in my initial video, I did stumble across the issue of not being able to activate Sengoku. So I did replace Sengoku with another Sengoku, so that way we get access to the sewer support. But I imagine you could just use another character that could just, I don't know, remove resilience, remove damage reduction. Marco gives so many cooldowns, you can probably get it anyway. But let me know in the comment section below if you guys have a different Marco one team versus all. If you guys are using some other teams, and I'll link my other video in the description as well for you. But most importantly, enjoy the video. Make sure to belt the like button for me. Hit that big red subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And with that said, let's dive into the one team versus all. Alright, so we're going to kick it off over here on the side variation. And as you guys can see, we did include the rare recruits Sengoku from the Ace vs Akainu batch. So that's the team. Those are the supports. Let's dive in. Another change I actually made too is I actually added the support of Red Leg Zeph onto my Sanji, and that actually just gives color affinity for this particular variation. Now, this particular variation is the one I think we're going to struggle with the most, mainly because you can't use an orb booster on the final stage. You can't use an attack booster on stage 2, but on the final stage, you can't use an orb boost. Now, I really wish it was the other way around. If it was the other way around, this team would just flourish very, very nicely. However, it's not, so we have to actually use our Super Tandem Luffy on stage 2. Using Luffy on stage 2 will just give us the tandem orbs. He locks those orbs. We can carry them into the next stage. Plus, he does so much damage that you can usually just kill Indigo, and it just works out very, very nicely. On turn 1 with Marco, pop that super class, and that way you can actually activate the auto trigger for Marco on stage 2. What the main thing that is going to do is not only give us an attack boost, which cannot be interrupted, but he also gives us cooldowns. On this stage, you get 5 turns of attack down, which Robin and Jinbei are actually going to remove. Robin and Jinbei can give cooldowns as well, which is great. That actually helps us out with getting cooldowns for Luffy, and that way you can actually activate Luffy as well. Switch into Jinbei though, because Jinbei has type advantage on the final stage, and with that color affinity support that Red Leg Zeph can provide, it actually helps out a lot. It's just like 1.5 times extra damage. Because you have no orb boost on this stage, like you're losing out on Luffy's monstrous 3 times orb boost. So it's very, very crucial that you guys actually get that. Now, remember, this is still like the early stages. As you guys saw, Luffy just decimated that stage. It's hilarious. Now, obviously, this is still early stages. And as I mentioned, I don't know how long this team will work for. But like I said, link in the description for the other teams that I did put together for you guys that should work for a little bit later. That just use like Marco and a full int-based team, basically. Designed for this particular fight. On the final stage, you get 5 turns of blind and 5 turns of paralysis, which will go up to 6 turns after like whatever the threshold is. Sanji's going to remove that as well as the Rayleigh support. Rayleigh can remove 2 turns. Sanji removes 5. It works out hunky-dory. Plus, with the support of Red Leg Zeph, you actually get color affinity here. And with this particular team, you actually have the super tandem of Luffy as well. As you guys saw there, I just hit with Robin and Jinbei just to clear. But with the super tandem of Luffy, you'll get an extra 2.5 times attack for Luffy himself. So that could also help you guys out at the back end of the chain. So that's against Sai. Again, I don't know how long it's going to last. It's the one that struggles the most, but let's move on to Dex now. And that's why I use Marco. Alright, so moving on to Dex now. Let's dive on in for the one team versus all with Marco. Now, against Dex, it doesn't struggle too much. However, we don't actually have type advantage at all on this particular stage. So the color affinity on Sanji, like, it really doesn't matter too much. Honestly, it doesn't matter at all, I should say. On stage 1, your powerhouse characters get cooldowns, but your cerebrals and your free spirits don't, as well as your fighters. So, Robin and Jinbei, Luffy, and Sanji all don't get cooldowns, but this is where, like, Marco shows that, like, you can pretty much bring any character you guys really want to, because Marco can provide so many cooldowns, as long as he gets cooldowns himself. He gives 2 turns of cooldown with his captain, 2 turns with his superclass, 2 turns with his auto trigger, and 2 turns with his special. That's 8 turns of cooldowns just with Marco, 2 with your sockets, 1 with the ship. That's already sitting at 11 cooldown. You get 1 on the interrupt. Then you, like, take the turtles out, that's another 1, and then 1 on the preemptive, that's another 3. So, you can get, like, 14 turns of cooldown, literally, like, by turn 2, just with Marco. And then, obviously, with Robin and Jinbei being such an amazing sub, they actually help out so much to give more cooldowns for this particular team as well. On stage 2, Sanji's going to remove the special blind. He gives the color affinity buff here, which actually helps out killing Shiki because he's a quick unit. And then we can move into the final stage against the Dex variation of Shiki himself. Against Shiki, he is going to give normal attacks only. Gives us a full board unfavorable orbs, 5 turns of despair, and 5 turns of attack down. Now that attack down is going to go to 6 turns. The despair goes up to 6 turns as well. But Luffy can just remove that. He also rotates our orbs, activating that super tandem effect to make him hit very, very hard. With Marco, we get an attack boost, and with Robin and Jinbei, we can get base stats, as well as remove that attack down. We have the chain boost from Marco as well, so make sure to hit with Luffy at the back end of the damage, because once that super tandem effect kicks in, you're getting that 2.5 times extra damage. However, if you guys don't have that, like, there might be a better team out there, but like I said, link in the description if you guys want to try the strength-based team designed for this particular fight. Alright, so the final variation is the quick variation, and this particular team just absolutely stomps quick. Like, it just does an absolute number on it. Because, like, predominantly our Straw Hats are Dex, and with the Super Tandem of Luffy, it works very nicely. Unfortunately, I don't think we actually get the color affinity boost from Sanji, well, Red Leg Zeph. However, it doesn't matter too much. Now, Dex and quick characters get their cooldowns, which means Marco's not actually getting his cooldowns. Now, I did bring a Limit Break expanded Marco. That's actually going to help out a little bit, because you get that 1 turn of extra cooldown, and it just helps out by, like, just managing to get Marco's cooldowns, I think by stage 2, actually. And this is where, like, Marco just, like, he just rocks. Well, actually, no, we get it by the final stage, because we get the auto trigger on stage 2, so that actually works out pretty nicely. So, the auto trigger kicks in, you get 2 turns of cooldowns there. Unfortunately, it's 1 and 1 for Marco's, because, like, Marco doesn't give himself cooldowns. The only real character that does that's Carrot Warden, that's what actually makes him so insane. On this Indigo stage, she? No, it's Scarlet. The gorilla. There's 5 turns of damage reduction. Now, this damage reduction is very hefty, and attacking through it is very difficult, even with 2 orbs on Marco. So just be careful on that stage. Even with the attack with some Marco, you will struggle a little bit. But with Sengoku, we can actually get around that. Now, Sengoku with Sura support gives 3 turns of end of turn damage. So not only does he remove the damage reduction, but he actually gives the end of turn damage to get around the resilience, or the resilience? Yeah, the resilience as well. On the final stage, Shiki gives you chain coefficient reduction by 6 turns, and gives you attack down if your chain is below 2 times. So that's why Croc on Robin and Jinbei is so god tier here. We can then use Marco for an attack boost, Luffy for an orb boost, full board of tandem slots, and a base stat boost with Robin and Jinbei there. And it all just works out super hunky-dory. With that, like I said, we have type advantage here, we have super tandem with Luffy, and it just all works out ridiculously well, and we just absolutely decimate our boy Shiki. So, there you guys go. That's going to wrap up the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there and belt that like button for me if you're new to the channel, or you haven't done so already. Hit that big red subscribe button. But most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Later!